Imagine stepping into a dingy elevator in a notorious hotel, the doors refusing to close as you frantically press buttons, hide in corners, and gesture wildly at unseen threats. Now picture your body discovered weeks later, floating in a rooftop water tank with no clear explanation of how you got there. This is the chilling story of Elisa Lam, a young woman whose bizarre death has sparked endless debates. Was it a tragic accident fueled by inner demons, or something far more sinister? Buckle up as we dive into one of the most haunting mysteries of our time, piecing together the facts that still leave investigators and armchair detectives scratching their heads. Who was Elisa Lam? Elisa Lam was a bright, adventurous 21-year-old student from Vancouver, Canada, enrolled at the University of British Columbia. She had a passion for books, often sharing her thoughts on Tumblr, where she documented her travels and inner world with poetic flair. But beneath her vibrant exterior, Elisa struggled with bipolar disorder and depression. Diagnosed years earlier, she was prescribed medications to manage her condition, yet she had a history of skipping doses, which sometimes triggered severe episodes of hallucinations and delusions. Her family knew this all too well. Her sister recalled times when Elisa would hide under beds, convinced someone was after her. Despite these challenges, Elisa embarked on a solo trip down the California coast, eager to explore new places. She visited San Diego, posting cheerful photos from the zoo on social media, before heading to Los Angeles. There, she checked into what would become the stage for her final days, the infamous Cecil Hotel. The dark history of the Cecil Hotel. Nestled in the heart of downtown Los Angeles near Skid Row, the Cecil Hotel opened its doors in 1924 as a grand establishment for the city's elite, but over the decades, it devolved into a haven for transients, criminals, and the desperate. With 700 rooms, many functioning as single-room occupancies with shared bathrooms, the hotel earned a gruesome reputation. Serial killers like Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, called it home during his 1985 killing spree, stalking victims from its shadowy halls. Another infamous resident, Jack Unterweger, an Austrian serial killer, stayed there in the early 1990s while posing as a journalist. The Cecil was no stranger to death. Suicides, overdoses, and violent crimes plagued its corridors. One former manager reported overseeing 80 deaths in just 10 years on the job. Renamed Stay on Main in an attempt to shed its dark past, the hotel still attracted budget travelers like Elisa, who arrived on January 26, 2013. Little did she know, the building's eerie legacy would intertwine with her own fate, fueling speculation about whether the hotel itself played a role in what happened next. The erratic behavior and disappearance. Elisa's stay began normally, sharing a hostel-style room with other guests, but tensions soon surfaced. Roommates reported her locking them out, leaving unsettling notes, and erupting in unpredictable outbursts. Concerned staff moved her to a private room. Witnesses later recalled her roaming the halls, shouting odd phrases like, "I'm crazy, but so is LA." She even attended a late-night TV taping, only to be escorted out for disruptive behavior. On January 31st, Elisa was last seen at the last bookstore, cheerfully buying gifts for her family. But that evening, everything changed. Surveillance cameras captured her entering the hotel elevator, the footage that would later baffle the world. After that, she vanished. When her parents couldn't reach her, they reported her missing. Flyers went up, her family flew in, and the search began, but days turned into weeks with no trace of Elisa. The infamous elevator footage. What propelled Elisa's case into viral infamy was the chilling elevator video released by police. Filmed on January 31st, 2013, or possibly February 1st, the grainy clip shows Elisa entering the elevator alone. She presses multiple buttons as the doors remain open unnaturally long. She peeks out, hides in the corner, then makes strange, fluid arm motions, some likened to ritualistic gestures or sign language. Her movements grow frantic, stepping in and out, pressing more buttons, at times seeming to speak to someone unseen. Finally, she leaves, and the doors close as the elevator ascends without her. The 4-minute video, viewed millions of times, fueled endless theories. Why didn't the doors close? Was the footage edited with missing timestamps or slowed sections? Elisa's sister noted her behavior resembled past episodes during bipolar flares. Paranoid, fearful, and erratic, yet the clip's eerie quality left room for darker interpretations, cementing it as the mystery's most haunting piece of evidence. The gruesome discovery. For nearly 3 weeks, the hotel ran as usual, unaware of the horror above. Guests complained of low water pressure, a strange black tint, and an odd sweet taste that made some ill. On February 19, 2013, maintenance worker Santiago Lopez checked the rooftop tanks and peered into an open hatch, finding Elisa's nude body floating face up in the murky water. Her clothes, watch, and room key were submerged with her, as if she'd while struggling to stay afloat. Firefighters had to cut open the tank to recover her, draining thousands of gallons of contaminated water in the process. The roof was supposedly secured, locked doors, alarms, and tanks requiring ladders and heavy lids. Yet Elisa had somehow reached it undetected. Search dogs traced her scent to a fifth-floor window and fire escape, hinting she may have climbed up herself. Still, questions lingered. Could a distressed 21-year-old really maneuver the hatch alone? The grim discovery horrified guests who had been bathing and drinking from the tainted supply. The official investigation and findings. The LAPD launched a detailed probe searching Elisa's room and the hotel for clues. Her belongings, including laptop, wallet, and clothes, were untouched, while a stash of unused medications suggested she hadn't been taking her bipolar prescriptions. Toxicology confirmed low levels of her meds, but no drugs, alcohol, or poison. The autopsy found no injuries, assault, or struggle. Water in her lungs confirmed drowning. Investigators ruled out foul play, concluding Elisa likely experienced a psychotic episode from unmanaged bipolar disorder. They theorized she reached the roof via the fire escape, climbed to the tank, and entered the open hatch, perhaps seeking refuge or in a delusional state. Once inside, she may have shed her clothes to tread water longer, but eventually drowned. Official cause: accidental drowning, with bipolar disorder as a factor. Fingerprints on the roof matched no suspects, and while the case was closed, unanswered questions, no cameras, no witnesses, and doubts about tank access kept speculation alive. Theories and lingering speculations. Though officials ruled it an accident, Elisa's death quickly became a breeding ground for theories. Some cite her mental health, a manic or psychotic break explaining her elevator behavior and rooftop climb, supported by her history of delusions and skipped meds. Others suspect foul play, perhaps a hotel employee with roof access, pointing to the open tank hatch and absence of forced entry. Conspiracy theorists claim the elevator footage was edited, or that the hotel covered up negligence to dodge lawsuits. Then come the darker angles. The Cecil's haunted legacy of suicides and murders, uncanny parallels to the film Dark Water, and even tuberculosis tests eerily named LAMELISA. Some stretch further to government experiments. Yet no solid proof backs murder or the occult, only the unanswered how that keeps speculation alive. In the end, Elisa Lam's death remains a haunting enigma, officially an accident, but shrouded in enough oddities to question if we'll ever know the full truth. Was she running from shadows in her mind, or something real lurking in those halls? If this story gripped you as much as it does us, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into unsolved mysteries, and drop your theory in the comments below. Accident or murder?